Baby Shark's gonna happen.
Baby Shark?
Where are we at?
We're at downtown Disney in Disney World.
That's right.
Oh gosh.
Mississippi ice. Your heart dove in and your body's close behind. Your lover's in Paris and you are stuck right here.
Hey, it's Zach. Currently in South Carolina with Carry the Love and Circuit Riders. Sorry I'm whispering, but people are still sleeping, so I don't want to wake them up. So, first of all, I just want to thank all of you for donating and helping me get here and be part of this movement. Basically, what Carry the Love is a bunch of 20-year-olds like going to college campuses, and we put on events, and our goal is to catalyze the schools and to see God just move miraculously throughout the younger generation. And so far, these past 2 weeks have been, so I showed up to Florida, and all of these people started coming in, and I started making friends, and we had events, kind of training for just the events that we're going to do with our teams. So we kind of had some team activities, and we had a lot of worship and a lot of prayer and intercession. And the first day I was there, in Orlando, Florida, we were staying on the YWAM base there. I had to catch a ride to go get dinner with somebody, and so I caught a ride with some guys, and they're like, after we get dinner, like, we're just gonna go to a worship night. It's called like Jesus night. And on the way, one of these guys said, we might be late and we might miss like the 31st 15 minutes of Jeremy Riddle's set. I'm like, that's funny, like, that's weird. I don't believe that. And then we got to the Jesus night, the worship night, and I walked in the room and just got hit with the presence of God and just started worshiping. And like 10 minutes later, I looked up and I saw Jeremy Riddle playing guitar on stage and leading worship. And he actually sang a song that was my favorite song as a kid. It just spoke to me, like God was just speaking to me, like that He's with me and that He'll be providing for me, so that all of my anxiousness was just taken away at that moment. And my heart was just set on God and what He has for these schools. That's about the second week. my team finally hit the road. I have an amazing team. So I'm playing bass and music directing in our band, and our worship leader is the funniest guy. His name's Nathan, and just everybody in our team is just, there's not one person that is lazy in their faith, and there's not one person that just lacks wisdom. Like, they're all just so strong in their faith. So the first event we were a part of, we showed up on the USC, University of South Carolina, and we set up our instruments, and we set up the event. And during worship, there weren't too many people that came. There was probably like 15 to 20. But while we were playing, while we were doing worship, after the message, we had a salvation call. So like whoever wanted to give their lives to Jesus, like to just come up to the front and get prayer. And one guy out of the 15 like raised his hand, and he received Jesus that day. I wasn't the one who led him to salvation, but I was on stage playing. But the testimony I heard afterwards was that he was invited that night to come. They did some evangelism that day while we were practicing, and one of the people on our team actually invited him to the event while they were evangelizing, and he said that he was just going to go to a party later because it was a Friday night, and he was just going to go party, and instead he showed up and gave his life to Jesus. And I just thought that was so amazing, because that was probably the best day of his life, like meeting Jesus. The second night, we had some evangelism, and then we had like an acoustic worship set in just a living room somewhere, and we invited people from campus. And this one guy named Niall showed up, and he was this really tall dude, taller than I am, and he walked in the door, and I just started talking to him, and then our worship leader called for just like breakthrough, if anybody needs prayer for breakthrough, anxiety, or depression, just to like raise their hands, and we would come around and pray for them. And Niall was the guy that I was talking to, and he raised his hand. So I just laid my hands on him. My friend Mondo laid his hands on him, and he just started praying for him, that just like anxiety would just fall off of him. And afterwards, he just said he felt so free. During one of the events, we were actually in a church, and we were playing worship and just leading people into worship. And afterwards, we heard a testimony. There was a girl there with a walker, and she was probably like 20 or 21 years old. And she actually said that she struggled with, or she had like a spine problem, where it hurt really painfully to stand up, and she was unable to walk without her walker. And while she was telling this testimony, her walker was to the side, and she was just like sitting there and talking to us. And she said that during worship that she got prayer, and she stood up out of her walker, and she just started dancing and jumping, and she, like, God healed her from this spinal problem. And it was just so cool to see that she was completely healed. So already in the first week, like, we've seen, even through just simple evangelism, we've seen many people give their lives to Jesus, and we've seen chains just fall off people, and people getting healed. And even in my personal times, like, I just feel myself growing deeper and deeper in love with God and just falling more in love with Jesus. Today, we're doing an event at Anderson University. We can't actually go on campus, so we're just gonna do it in a living room somewhere. But I'm just praying that God will show up, that God will heal, and God will perform just signs and wonders, miracles, and we'll see lives saved. And yeah, I just want to thank you all for donating to me and for praying for me. And yeah, I'm just so excited to see what God's gonna do. Thanks.
How do you feel about this?
Well, you see here, the game today, we don't play games. We're playing freaking basketball. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna make this right now.
What do you have to say about this?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Oh!
Putting on like layers of women's clothing.
How's it going?
Wow. I can actually see you wearing the red one.
The red? I would never.
They close in 15 minutes.
I'm going full metal.
Don't do it. No, don't do it. It's too late now. The
Wait, what'd you say?
moment's gone.
What's going on? Stop it.
I got the carrot. Yes.
Of the personality of a carrot.
Today is Mondo's birthday.
Hey, Mondo, happy birthday.
Hey, thanks, guys. I just want to thank the Academy, and I want to thank God first and foremost. But I want to shout out my mom. You know what I'm saying?
I was saying.
We're gonna surprise them and put dead monkeys in
Please
his
help me.
pocket.
They kidnapped me. Please help.
So I need to edit the videos that I have now.
Clean. I'd say that's a nice rock.
Yes, sir.
I'd say it's a mighty fine rock. I think that's why I say that rock.
That's a rare one right there.
I'll say that.